Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Land Rover Discovery R Dynamic S. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover of Salt Lake for giving me some time with this Discovery. Check out the inventory and link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a 3-liter inline-6 that's turbocharged. It goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 355 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Discovery. So first off, notice with the hood that there's not a whole lot going on, and I really like that clean look. And then you've got the blacked out Discovery badge. Coming down below, we've got these LED lights. I love the LED accent lights and how it looks overall. I think it has this just really nice presence to it. We have our Land Rover logo in the middle of the black grille. Notice we've got the parking sensors. We've got a little camera there in the center. And then notice we've got this right here on the side, which just looks really good overall stylistically. And yeah, I think that this is my favorite look on the Discovery ever. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 75mm tires wrapped around 21-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. This Discovery does also come with the adaptive air suspension, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. Now as for the design on the wheels, I think it's a nice contrast. There's a lot of blacked out elements, and so it's nice that you've got the silver of the wheels to kind of break everything up. And then notice we've got our blacked out Discovery badge right there, and yeah, literally like I said, everything else is all blacked out, so the wheels kind of definitely pop. Now let's pop here into the back of the Discovery. First off, we've got this massive rubber floor covering, which says Land Rover on it. And then if we pick it up, notice you have this strap underneath. And if you pick that up, you've got even more storage space. So I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. And then over here, this is actually what raises and lowers the second row. It's all automated. So for example, if we want to lower it, well, actually other seat. And then if you want to raise it back, then you can do it. Again, it's all automated. And then this is for the air suspension to raise or lower the back end, so it's easier for you to load things up into the rear. Another nice feature. It does come with a cargo cover, and yeah, that's pretty much everything for the back. So, gotta press that, and now let's go over things with the rear end of the Discovery. So first off, we've got these really nice LED lights. I love how it comes here off to the side. They just look really sharp. And then notice we've got, again, a blacked out Discovery badge. We've got the parking sensors all along the rear here. And we kind of have the more boxy type design here on the rear with the Discovery. Now let's go over the rear door panel here in the Discovery. So first off, notice that you've got this really cool pattern here on the leather there at the top portion. And then we've got a couple speakers there for the sound system. And we've got more leather here down below where you're actually going to rest your arm. Just looks really nice and also feels nice to the touch. I love the feeling of the door handle. And then here are the seats in the back. So again, we've got the full leather, perforated leather here in the center with the kind of like rivet type design. And then notice here, you've actually have your own climate controls here for the back passengers, which is definitely a nice luxury feature. Got a little area we can charge some devices. And yeah, overall, that's the back end. Let's pop in quickly so you guys can see legroom and all that. So here's legroom. Then you guys can see headroom. And oh, finally, yes, you can pull that up so that you can charge a device. And then also, I think that's pretty cool. Now here's a door panel in the front of the Discovery. So again, you can see the leather all right here, that same really nice design. You've got all of your window controls, the mirror adjustments, and then more speakers there for the sound system, and then more leather just down below. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, you can see you've got more leather, perforated leather with all of the kind of like rivet type design. Got your adjustments on the side of the seat. It says R Dynamic. And then we have our pedal layout right there. And then we've got that for the rear hatch. Notice the paddle shifters there on the back are really nice. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now let's go over the steering wheel here with the Discovery. So we've got nice leather wrapped around the whole steering wheel, and then I love the spoke design with this. It kind of have this nice like rugged look just because of these spokes. Really nice paddle shifters on the back. Got your cruise control on the one side. You have these controls for the center stack, which when you press it, changes. And then you've got your stock there for the lights and turn signal, windshield wiper stock on the other side, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. First off, I love how they have the analog looking gauges in the screen itself. It is a full digital readout. And then you do have this screen right here, which you can scroll through a couple different menus. Again, I've put this in a bunch of Land Rover reviews, so I'm not really gonna dive too deep into that, but we do have some different drive modes we can go through. So first off, we have our Eco mode, and notice it'll pop on and say Eco, and then we've got our Comfort mode. And then we've got our grass, gravel, snow, mud, ruts, sand, got our rock crawl, and then finally we have our wading mode. And then if you press it in again, it just throws it back into auto. I'll show you guys the switch in a little bit. But yeah, that's for all the different drive modes. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, notice we've got the backup camera right there with the trajectory lines. We've got our on-road view, and then we have our off-road view as well. I think it's really cool that Land Rover does that distinction with the two different camera views with it. But yeah, other than that, camera system's great. You guys can see you've got that full view here on it, so you can basically see every single angle here on the Discovery. So parking this would never be an issue, and also if you take it off-road, you'll be able to see everything around you. As for the rest of the infotainment system, response time is really good. You have a bunch of different menus. You guys know I love the low traction launch. I think that's a pretty cool feature. And then also the 4x4 information, as well as the wade sensing. And then you can control stuff like the seats from here. You do have heated seats, which again, another nice luxury feature. And then notice that you can even go and control the rear seats, which usually cars don't let you do that, but the Discovery does. Now I've got our analog climate controls down here, really easy to use. So you've got these buttons, and I love the feedback on the buttons when you press it. Definitely has a nice feeling to it. But you can see the description right there: push for seats, pull for fan speed. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory, really easy to use. It's cool that the dials have that multi-function purpose. Well, speaking of Defender First Editions and all that kind of stuff, just kidding. We weren't talking about it, but I thought I'd put that in the video because that's pretty cool. But anyways, notice we've got some cup holders right here, the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. This is that drive mode select. Now I was wrong in what I said earlier, that if you push it in, it just throws it back into auto mode. It doesn't do that. What it does is it just keeps in the drive mode that you had last selected. So for example, if I go into the comfort and then push it in, it'll be in comfort. But this is just what you push up to select the drive modes. I think that's just cool feature wise. Hill descent control, and then we've got our low range right there. And we have our center console, which if we lift it up, notice that storage space there, I mean, like, it fits like my whole arm. Got a couple of USBs in it, and then there's nice leather there at the top. Now we do have the glove box here. First, if we open up the top portion right there, it's kind of like spring loaded, so it'll go back, and then you can just push it in to get it back into place. Really nice leather, and then the stitching on it. And then we have a normal glove box down below. So storage space is really solid here in the Discovery. And then capping things off here at the top, we've got our sunroof right here, but no, don't worry, there's another sunroof there for the back. So yeah, you've got the double sunroof situation. You have the controls for it right there, and that's all for the top. Here's our window sticker with the Discovery, and feel free to freeze the frame so that you can read through all of the equipment with the Discovery. And you guys can see the base MSRP before options, $61,900. And then this particular one, stickers for $71,005. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the Discovery. So notice the visibility over the hood, and then here's through both of the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring, and then here's throughout the rest of the rear. And that all being said, let's set off. We are setting off here in the Discovery, and first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. Now, I love the fact that I just drove a Velar right before this that doesn't have air suspension, because now I can really feel a difference again between a Land Rover that has air suspension and one that does not. And yes, you can actually perceive a difference. The ones with air suspension do have a smoother ride quality to them, and when you go over bumps and all that kind of stuff especially, they just don't get as upset. So if you're able to get it as an option with the package that you're getting, I definitely would recommend going for the air suspension. It definitely smooths things out. I love this new inline six. It's so torquey right off the line. Doesn't need a ton of revs or anything like that to just get up and go. You get the torque from a really low range, and so it's just, yeah, perfect for on-road use, but then even better for off-road use, if you can imagine, because you have so much torque at low RPMs. And then aside from that, the cabin's very well insulated. Like, this just feels like a very nice luxury vehicle. It's quiet, it's smooth, it's easy to drive. The steering is very light in it. Overall, again, it just gives you that nice luxury car experience. And the brakes in it are very nice as well. Stopping power is great, which on-road is important. Off-road, again, is more important. I know that I'm talking a lot about off-road, but The Discovery, kind of before the Defender came out, was one of the go-to Land Rovers for off-road. Now, the whole brand is an off-roading brand, which is something that I love about it. But the Discovery was kind of the one that they'd picked out. They're like, okay, this is the one that's going to be a little bit more towards the off-roading side. And they even did a special edition Discovery, if you guys remember last year, that was like specifically made for the off-road, and it had like a cool livery on it and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was a really cool package. But aside from that, yeah, the torque is just so nice. It's just so immediate and just gets up and it moves. Now, aside from all of that, let's kind of see how the steering is coming up to here. And again, we'll get the brakes just one more time. Yeah, brakes are good, and we'll see. Yeah, the steering has a relative directness to it, actually. And when you are going at a little bit higher speeds, it does kind of weight up nicely, which I really like. And again, if I was taking this down a trail, that's exactly what I want. I don't want vague steering that's going all over the place. I want something that's very direct, like the steering rack here with the Discovery. So let's get our acceleration here with the Discovery. Whew. So it's got the double pedal modulation. What I mean is you press into the pedal, and then there's another thing that you press in underneath the pedal. So you can just get kind of like a sort of acceleration, and then you can get a really, really hardcore acceleration. And pressing into the second one, man, does it get up and move. And I like the sounds you get from that inline six. It definitely is nice. And you guys know that I've reviewed this engine now in several vehicles. I reviewed it in the new Defender, in the Velar as well, and every single application that I've reviewed this in, I just really like it. Again, it's got good low-end torque, it pulls, it's very quick, it feels quicker than the power figures suggest. Again, right, 355 horsepower. This feels quite a bit punchier than the 355 horsepower that it is stated to have. And that'll get me to summing things up here with this Discovery. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think it's just a really good looking vehicle. Now, and this is just my personal opinion, you might not agree with it, I don't think it's necessarily the best looking Land Rover. I think the new Defender definitely kind of goes a little bit better with that boxy design. This again is kind of more on the boxy side, but I feel like the new Defender just really did a much better job design wise compared to the Discovery. And then obviously you've got kind of the more like swooping SUV type designs that you get like with the Velar and all that kind of stuff. Now, aside from the design, interior-wise, I really like this interior. The seats are very comfortable. All of your touch points are nice. The steering wheel, all the controls, the paddles feel very nice. The stalks feel very nice for the lights and the windshield wipers. And even the stuff you're not going to necessarily touch just looks really nice from a design perspective. All of it just looks really well put together. I love the spoke design with the steering wheel. And you guys know, I love the engine. It sounds good, it's powerful, and again, it feels faster than the power figures would suggest. So I'm sure the big question on everyone's mind, should you still get this over the new Defender? And it's really going to depend. So first off, there is a huge if you can even get a Defender, because right now supply and demand is crazy with all vehicles. And again, this is just right now as of me filming this video. It's just hard to find vehicles in general. So that might be one of the things that's preventing you from getting the new Defender. Aside from the supply, let's talk about the pricing with this. So with the Discovery, it seems like you can get a little bit more loaded up Discovery for a little bit less money compared to the Defender. So you would save yourself a little bit of money. Off-road capability, I mean, it's amazing. It's not as capable as the Defender, but it's still extremely capable from an off-road perspective. I will say this does feel a little bit more daily driver friendly. Now, the Defender is a very daily drivable SUV. I need to state that, like, as an off-road vehicle, that is the most daily drivable off-road vehicle on the market right now, hands down. That being said, though, this is more daily drivable than the Defender. So if you're really not going to take the vehicle off-road and you want something that just has a little bit of off-road credibility, right, and you're just going to daily drive it and all that kind of stuff, then that's where this Discovery is really going to shine, and you'll save yourself a little bit of money. Overall, it's a great package, and I'm glad they still make this. I was a little bit worried that they would stop making this because of the Defender, but it looks like they're going to continue it, which is definitely good. Let's get some things up with our video on this 2021 Land Rover Discovery. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover of Salt Lake for giving me some time with the Discovery. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.